Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. We're live on Facebook and social media and YouTube and also the platform formerly known as Twitter called X. We want to give you the latest on the impactful winter storm that's expected tomorrow. That music is kind of getting you fired up, maybe for some winter weather. Well, it's coming, and we will be seeing some snow. Now, how much snow, obviously, is always a question. But I'm going to educate you as to why you need to shy away from those accumulation maps that just basically convert all precipitation and make it immediately snowfall. But here's the deal. We do see widespread snow that's going to be happening. So let's get to it. Peyton Langford is enjoying a nice little dinner break. And so let's talk about what's going to happen. First of all, you'll see the snow tie. This is what we're going to see. Some big, wet, large snowflakes, and the potential for some heavy snow, especially in the river valley, is definitely on the table. So let's get right to it and show you the very latest as the latest information comes in. We do have new computer model information as well. Let's look at, first of all, the large winter storm that's coming in starting Thursday midday. We'll go through some timing. We'll do some other stuff as well. You'll notice the heaviest snow timing is going to be about 6 o'clock in the evening, Thursday through Friday, 3 a.m. Now, this does not mean the entire storm is happening at this time. This is just when the heaviest snow will start. Another reason why it's going to be the heaviest snow is that the temperatures are going to be a little above freezing. Joshua Myers saying, yeah, the NAM just blew up. The 0Z run is ridiculous. Something is off. I'll tell you what's off, and you'll see that here in just a bit. Hi from Prairie Grove, says Linda. Hello. Alicia says it's odd that River Valley is getting more snow than Northwest Arkansas. There's a good reason for that. It's about the path of the storm. David says, don't you dare take away our snow totals from Decatur. And then we have Joyce saying, ¿Dónde está? Well, it looks like some Spanish that's happening as well with this Facebook Live. Let me know where you're joining. If you're joining from the area, we'll try to give you an update here. Of course, we got a newscast that's happening at 9 o'clock, so we'll have to jump off here at about 5 till. So it'll be one of the shorter Facebook Lives. But this is the thing that we need to watch. Sleet totals will cut into how much snow we will get. Bradley's on top of this. The HRRR is on top of this. We know in terms of winter storms around here, very, very, very rarely are they all snow, start as snow, end as snow. This one will be close, but there will be a little bit of sleet as temperatures might start off a little bit above freezing. Keep that in mind. Snow accumulations for the River Valley looks to be around 4 to 7 inches. Keep in mind 4 inches and greater is winter storm criteria. Northwest Arkansas will be meeting that winter storm criteria, but also another thing that leads to the potential for winter storm warning criteria is sleet. And we could see about a ½ inch of sleet, but I think that might be a little overdone. Okay, so there's our weather headlines. Let's dive into the latest on the winter storm warning. Now, you probably got the alerts earlier today. If you're in Washington County, Carroll County, Boone and Newton, and Madison County in Northwest Arkansas, that is under a winter storm warning. The winter storm warning officially starts at 6 a.m. Now, I have Thursday a.m. because I don't want to be misleading because it won't be snowing here at 6 a.m. I just don't think that happens, even though the system might be a little faster than what the models show. 6 a.m. is too early, in my opinion. However, the official warning does go out starting at 6 a.m., but here's the information that you need to know about that. You got to remember that this area is really large, and the Tulsa Weather Service covers all the way down here into south central Oklahoma. So we look at this and we pop this on there. Yeah, 6 a.m. it's going to start in south central Oklahoma, but as we go throughout time, it'll start shifting more northerly, and there you see Friday at noon. We'll get to the snow totals, Diana. I just got to, basically like an author, got to show you, do some character development. Then we're going to add a few plot twists, and then we'll have the climax of the forecast, which, of course, is the winter weather, snow accumulation. So kind of like when you're talking about this is the story that we're telling. Now, Northwest Arkansas could see more, Brittany. You never know about snow. Snow is finicky, and it can change a lot in a short amount of distance. So Thinking about you from Naples, Florida. Well, we were in Florida, in Orlando, at the early part of January, and it was not very warm, that's for sure. But look at the size of this winter storm warning. Let me take my face off the screen. And a good question: will the Cotton Bowl be affected? Well, Drew, we're talking about that right now because a winter storm warning is in effect. Let's go look at the time of this for Dallas, and I don't think the Cotton Bowl is going to be, I believe, on Saturday. I saw that, of course, Texas is playing in the Cotton Bowl. I'm not exactly sure on the day. It's obviously a whole bunch of stuff is happening. I do know Arkansas lost in basketball against Ole Miss. That was a bummer. So I'm pretty sure it is going to be the Cotton Bowl is Saturday. Yeah, December. What? No, hold on. What? Well, that's acting all strange. When is the Cotton Bowl? There it is. It's Friday. Friday, January 10th. Well, there's a look at the winter storm warning that's going to end at noon on Friday. So I think the storm's going to be out of here, but the travel issues are going to be ongoing. So yeah, we'll have to see. I can't believe the Cotton Bowl's on a Friday. That's interesting, but it is at 6:30. So hopefully they get the roads cleared up. And yeah, that's weird that it's on a Friday, but hey, I get it. All right, back to this. Let's show you some interesting updates here to the winter storm severity index. Now, first of all, we're going to start off with a super wide view. Super wide view shows that we've got major impacts in central Arkansas. So Little Rock, Hot Springs, if you're watching from DeQueen, Wicks, Daisy, Broken Bow, Mount Ida, boy, those areas are going to get a lot of snow. The farther north you go, you got moderate impacts, and then you work your way into northwest Arkansas, some moderate impacts, but also some minor impacts. So if we look at this, you might be wondering what that legend means. Well, I just made this today. The yellow area means use caution while driving. Use extra caution while driving for the orange. The red is avoid travel if possible. So if you're planning on going to Little Rock Thursday, you're going to be encountering Thursday into Friday some pretty heavy snow. We'll get into that here in just a bit. So let's go to the HRRR. This is the very latest one. The national championship is on January 20th. The college football playoff is in Friday evening. I thought it was Friday. I wasn't sure. But travel Friday night in Arkansas to Missouri. Everything's going to be gone by Friday. So this is what you wanted to see. This is the next thing we're going to look at is snow totals. But first of all, this is the latest HRRR. So let's go ahead and we'll step through this in time. Notice nothing happens throughout the night. Tomorrow morning, clouds are on the increase. And here is the precipitation that begins. I think around, 9, 10 o'clock looks like a pretty good bet. This is the very latest, by the way, from the HRRR. Now, as we go throughout the day, you're going to see that precipitation shield shift northward. However, head scratcher, look at the temperatures. All right. So we've got 38 in Fayetteville, 37 in Fort Smith. You'll notice, if you can check it out, you see those wind streams on there? We call them wind particles. Basically, if you were to put little smoke bombs all over the ground, the smoke from the smoke bombs will be carried away from the wind. That's how you can basically think of these wind streams, if you will. So smoke from these smoke bombs are being basically moved around by the wind, and now you get to see the way the wind currents are moving. So south winds preceding a storm, that's going to bring a wintry mix. So it's not going to be most likely all snow because temperatures will start off too mild. Now, as we go throughout the day, the temperature will dramatically drop. There's two reasons. One, you get evaporative cooling. So as the temperature drops to the dew point temperature, you've got what's called latent heat release of water. Well, when you remove that and you evaporate water, you cool the air. So that's why the temperature drops. But look at the river valley, still in the upper 30s. But keep in mind, higher elevations such as the Ouachitas, Kavanaugh Hill, Mount Magazine, they will be seeing snow. So it's going to be another one of these tricky winter weather events. But one thing we are certain is that there will be precipitation. There's absolutely no doubt about this, and it will be widespread. But there's also going to be what's called mesoscale banding. So, where you get features of heavier precipitation bands, those can't be predicted. They also can't be analyzed by the models. They can't be depicted very well by the models. So, here's some heavy snow right here that's in Crawford and as well as Sequoia County into southern Washington County. That will bring a couple inches of snow alone. Then the snow starts lightening up, but at the same time, you still got temperatures that are going to be borderline freezing until Thursday night. This is why I said the heaviest snow is going to be Thursday night and into Friday morning. Now, the heavy, heavy snow, you can see those darker blues. This is falling across the river valley. That's where the track of the low is more favorable. That's where the greater moisture content is with the storm. Something new with the newest HRRR is you will notice that 6:30, 7:30 in the morning, you see that precipitation starting to shift out. So let me go through that again. And you see here about 10 a.m. to noon, precipitation starts moving out. So that's why the winter storm warning officially goes until noon. But there's a chance that it gets extended from these little backside snow showers. Here's someone saying, Turd Ferguson says, like, I'm sounding like the John Cena of weather. Yeah, you can't see me. Nope. That system is gone, and the models can't see the energy coming in either, so forget that. Let's take a look here again at the future track. Turd Ferguson. Best name ever, of course, from Anchorman. We get what you're cooking there. Look at this on the future track again Friday night. That precipitation still lingering. So I think some flurries on the backside of this massive system are not out of the question. All right, now here's where we look at snow totals. This is what people want to see. This is strictly a computer model. The computer model showing already some snow starting at noon, but not really adding up to much. At about 5 o'clock, we already got some heavier snow, about an inch of snow in Bentonville and Rhino, according to this model. Now, it's supposed to be snowing in the river valley, right? Well, it might be a little bit later of an onset. They've already started canceling school in anticipation of this storm. Keep in mind, models sometimes underestimate the amount of energy moving in. Notice how this is we go throughout 10 o'clock at night on Thursday. Now we're starting to get accumulation because the temperatures are going to drop. The sunshine goes down. Sun goes down. The temperatures will cool. The atmosphere cools. And here's a look at the latest snow totals. So this has bumped up those amounts a little bit, which is why the Weather Service out of Tulsa did say a winter storm warning. So we got about 4 to 5 inches of snow from the HRRR with higher amounts farther east in the higher elevations, as well as higher amounts in the river valley. So 5 inches is up there for Fayetteville. I think that's a little overdone. And if we look at some of the models, including what people want to see is the 4-panel of models, you'll notice that we've got the graph, which is the least out of everything, but it does have at least some snow. Before it didn't have anything. Look at Little Rock getting 7.5 inches, Russellville at about 5, and you got a bullseye of heavy snow, which I really truly believe is going to be the bullseye of the heaviest snow right across southern LaFleur and Scott County. Peyton, I hope you didn't rush in here and run through your dinner break too fast. Did you get some food?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I just ate really fast.
He just ate really, he gobbled it down, huh? All right.
Sure.
So there's a look at the graph. We got about 2.5 inches, 3.5 inches. All right, let's look at the NAM after we look at the European. I think this is very feasible. I think this is very realistic.
Yeah.
There will be some areas that pick up less. Now, Rogers 1.9, does that mean exactly that's what you get? No, not necessarily. The GFS, notice how all the bullseye of the heaviest snow in our weather coverage area is Scott County. If you live in Waldron, you will be getting some precipitation. Let's just say that. And then southern LaFleur County, you've got some really heavy snow as well. We'll move along here to the NAM. Oh, the good old trusty NAM.
Never accurate
Yeah,
model.
the never accurate. This is garbage. Now, here's something that you have to know with the NAM. This is taking all snowfall and converting it immediately into snow accumulation. Here's the problem with that. That's not going to happen. There will be temperatures that will be warm enough. Now, granted, someone said, yeah, right.
35 in Rogers.
35 in Rogers, no way tomorrow. It's a possibility. But then again, we're going to have that warm air advection right ahead of the system, right before the front. You know, the warmest time is right before the front moves in. So we'll go back to this graphic, the good old NAM. You see this, and everybody's posting this. But you know what? Even the NAM doesn't really call for this amount if you look at the right type of product. Because here is the snow accumulation for the NAM. But now let's look at what's called snow depth. Now, snow depth is something totally different. The way to think of snow depth is that's the amount of snow that's on the ground, because it's not just saying, hey, as soon as it starts snowing, it's going to start piling up. Now, it's going to melt a little bit.
Yep.
It'll compact. It's a wet snow, so it's not like fluffy feathers that are going to pile up really easily. This is a great snowman making, snowball making, snow compacting, snow ice cream type of snow. There's a lot of water content to it. So it's about a 7 to 8 to 1 ratio, honestly, not 10 to 1. So let's see what the NAM shows for snow depth, which, by the way, is what meteorologists should be posting and what should be talking about. That looks more feasible instead of the other ones.
But where'd all the rest of the snow go?
What do you mean by that? Yeah.
Little Rock, Hot Springs.
Well, and that's because we're warm. That's because we're above freezing for a good portion of the time. I think it could happen. So, we would never make snow ice cream now. I'll live a little. If you're saying there's chemicals in the air, I don't care. It's tasty. We'll have some snow ice cream.
I will not do that. That's one thing I will not
do. You
do.
won't? Snow ice cream?
No.
I'm alive. I've done it all my life.
Oh,
I'm alive.
Maybe that's the secret.
That is.
All right. Snow ice cream.
I think so. Maybe that's why my head can't work as well. But let's go back to this. This is the snow depth. The depth is what you need to look at, not the freaking accumulation maps. Now watch how it melts too. By Friday afternoon, a little sunshine comes out and it starts melting it a little bit. Not entirely, but do you see the difference? Now, which one do you think would get more attention on social media? This?
Oh, the mega snow.
Or
toofiest snow.
Or this right here, the NAM, the 8 to 10 to 12 to 14 inches in Russellville. No, not going to happen. And here's the thing, too. These accumulation maps, I have never seen an accumulation map that was exactly perfect.
No.
Never. Even ours, it's not perfect. So you got to go back to snow depth. Snow depth really tells the story. Now, 7 inches of snow in Fort Smith, that's definitely feasible.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen overnight, tomorrow night, into Friday morning. So what is our accumulation map? After looking at all this data, no model data, this is our accumulation map. This is what we've got. Let's take our camera off the screen here. So we'll start off with the wide view. Again, we're just forecasting for our area because it can get really convoluted when you start doing wider areas. But Southwest Missouri, Delaware County, you got about 1 to 2 inches. You go a little farther south of that, you got an area of 2 to 4. You can see that darker blue. That darker blue makes sense. The 4 will probably be maybe a little higher in Newton County, which is why we've got that 4 to 8 inches that starts nudging, the 4 to 6 that starts nudging into southern sections of Newton County. I think Newton County could definitely see a little more than 4 to 6, but it's going to be localized and it's higher elevations.
Depends on how much cloud cover we see tomorrow morning. That will kind of dictate, hey, how much will we be able to warm up a little bit? What does the mid-levels look like? Will there be some warm air coming in that will create a ton of sleet?
Yeah.
Things we're kind of watching for in what's called nowcasting, like the day of, like a couple hours out.
That's where it's a little easier. Where it's a little easier. But that 6 to 8, I think, is spot on. I think there's going to be, obviously some higher terrain areas like, Mount Magazine that'll get more than 4 to 6 and the higher elevations, just because, think about it. The snow doesn't have as far to fall. It can start piling up a lot quicker. Just a few thousand feet in elevation can make a huge difference. So let's go back to impacts and winter storm severity. And this changed again, by the way, Peyton.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Of course it has. Now you'll see here that minor impacts have moved back into Washington County for the most part.
Okay, so it's going back and forth.
It's going back and forth. It goes back and forth all the time. Doesn't
It's
mean
a general idea.
Doesn't mean anything. So now you get into the River Valley, but boy, Central Arkansas. Now here's something else too. Some people are asking about this ice. If you're watching in South Arkansas, oh wow, that is nice and smoothed out now. Look at that. Extreme impacts for South Arkansas. That's where the ice will be.
Yeah.
What we mean by ice is freezing rain. In fact, I don't know
Freezing
if
rain totals.
I don't know if I have that far south because it's not in our weather coverage area, but let's see here.
Yeah, I really hope ice stays out of Kingsland.
I wonder if they went ice storm warning.
I don't think so. I would have seen it by now.
All right, let's see here what we got. Here's a wide DMA. I think this might give us a view of South Arkansas. Let's see. Nope. This will, though. This is the Europeans' ice totals. That doesn't have nearly as much as what they are showing. So I think with that, with the top of with the amount of snow on top of that, yeah, that doesn't have nearly as much. That is awful. Let's look at the GFS. Well, you know what? We can actually see why they are issuing those extreme impacts.
Yeah. Let me look.
You want to look?
Yeah.
I got the new buff kit too.
I'm just going to look at NWS Shreveport. See what they kind of mention.
No ice storm warning. So it doesn't look like a whole lot of ice according to this. That's not what the models are showing. Let's look at the NAM real quick. Well, of course, the NAM probably is.
Snow accumulation 2 to 8 inches.
2 feet of ice, I bet.
Okay.
2
so,
feet.
Shreveport said,
yeah.
1/4 inch of ice expected and anywhere from 2 to 8 inches
of snow.
So
there's the ice in southwest Arkansas. Yeah. I don't know about that. Well, let's talk about the track of the storm because that's what someone was asking. Why is it that the River Valley is getting more snow than northwest Arkansas? Well, we can look at something here, and that's the water vapor because now the system is starting to kick out. So there it is. Oh, yeah, that's definitely ejecting. Very, very soon. Now, here's something else, too, that I thought that was interesting. We can see that other vortex, but it is way farther east than what the European had. Yeah. European had it right over Las Vegas. Right. Remember? Mm-hmm. That's not the case at all, and we didn't think it was right either. So it is diving straight south at this point, but it is not diving straight south over Las Vegas. No. So let's look at the vorticity. Now, here's something we can do. I'm going to go to weather 1 and weather 2. I already got this set up, Peyton. Oh. So let's do weather 1 and weather 2. So we've got the European on the left and the GFS on the right. No, excuse me. The left has the GFS and the right has the European. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to first of all step through the first step of the European model, and you'll see that start to move on the right side of your screen. Then we'll step forward on the GFS model. Pretty similar, but has the system, I think, a little too far to the west. But look at all of the individual energy, all these little pieces of energy. There's just so much lift with this system. There will likely be precipitation out ahead of what the models show. So now the GFS shows at noon on Friday, we go look at the European for noon on Friday, and wow, look at that. European is a lot faster. So it's kicking out snow quicker than the GFS.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Then we'll move forward on the European model again, the GFS model, and then everything kind of kicks out. So pretty similar tracks on that. If we look at the track on the water vapor, and we'll go back to this. There's the upper level low kicking east. It is a little farther north, but it is not a favorable track for the heaviest snow in northwest Arkansas. Now, could there be some mesoscale banding that develops? Of course, it's always a possibility. But as of now, we're not quite seeing that. Let's look at a couple things we want to look at, Peyton. Let's look at the graph. We'll bring this up, the graph model. And you're looking up some snow totals and some snow reports, and that's important because you're looking out the window. So here's 10 o'clock in the morning, snow starting in the river valley, dry air that has to be overcome in northwest Arkansas that will probably make a lot of people sad at first. But then finally, eventually, that snow will start to kick in, and you can just see that the heaviest snow is going to be farther south. But I don't know. I think that's a little underdone, in my opinion. Okay, let's go to some comments here. Let's get some comments taken care of. No, I won't eat yellow snow unless it's food colored.
Snow cone from the abominable snowman, Monsters Inc.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that. Oh, that was awesome. Let's see. You're welcome, Dina, saying thank you for keeping us safe. All right. Did the live stream just begin? No, it's been on quite a while, but you can watch the replay and see what we've got. What time will it start snowing in Rogers tomorrow? I think around 2. 1 to 2 is when it really will start snowing. And then it really starts to come down during the evening commute time. Here's a good question from Steven. This is just about 10 minutes ago. How are the roads between Gravett and Springdale? Well, the roads are fine now. There's absolutely nothing happening right now. But in 36 hours, we're looking at that's going to be what, Friday evening? No,
Saturday morning.
No, Saturday morning. Yeah, Saturday morning I think will be all right. Yeah, 36 hours.
Friday morning.
That'd be Friday morning.
Yeah,
because today's Wednesday
I don't know
night.
my days. What day is it?
Well, and you're going to be even more tired as you cover this winter storm from the river valley.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Sadly, they will close schools Friday, and everyone is at the stores. Laugh out loud. At least we aren't getting what Kansas got the other day. There's a chance we could get what Kansas gets. This is a big system. This is similar in comparison to the large, capacity of that system, and it's not out of the question that some places pick up what Kansas City got.
Yeah, you'll have to be pretty far south.
Mount Judy is excited. They already called off a school. Well, that might be a little premature for Thursday. You'll probably be going, where is it? Where's the snow? They said it was going to snow Thursday morning. No, we didn't. It was going to be Thursday afternoon that it starts. Mm-hmm. But you got to account for maybe a little bit of an earlier time. NWS has up to half an inch of freezing rain over those areas. We can also look at some probabilistic forecasts too and bring that up on weather too. That's always interesting to look at. No. It won't be like the 2009 ice storm.
Like ice accumulation?
Yeah.
Probability.
NAM is crazy with ice, but NAM is just nuts with everything. Oh boy, Jennifer. This is something that I haven't talked about at all, but the Santa Anas. Yes. Did you know that this system right now is responsible for the weather pattern that is providing those intense winds? Because in order to have the Santa Ana winds, you have to have a major pressure gradient, which is squeezed in between the mountains. Well, that's exactly what we have. We have a giant low pressure system that is south of California, which is exactly where this storm is.
It doesn't do ice, by the way.
And then at the same time, you've got this, which is high pressure just north. And so if you see the way this air is being funneled, if you're wondering why these winds are so bad, Well, here's a look at that's not a high there. Just trying to do this. So this low pressure system rotates counterclockwise, and this high pressure system is rotating clockwise. Well, when you have the pressure gradient right in between these two, this is where your strongest winds are going to be. And then you've got the mountains that are accelerating these winds within them. You just got a recipe for disaster. Yeah. Dry conditions on top of that.
Yeah, low relative humidities. You have all the fuel for fire, and then you just have those winds crank up. There was a gust up to 200 miles per hour.
On the mountains?
On the mountains.
Wow. That's like
most gusts right now are 70 to 80 miles per
That's
hour.
just insane. So let's look and see how dry it's been. If we look at the drought monitor, and yeah, you can see a D1 moderate drought in those areas, the Pacific Palisades, northwest of Los Angeles on the coast. My wife and I, we watch all the time $1 Million Listing. Love that show on Bravo, because my wife's a real estate agent, so she loves watching it. But it kind of gets her motivated too. But you'll see here that, yeah, it's pretty dry right there west of Los Angeles. And this is, as you mentioned, one of the costliest, or it is the costliest fire.
Yeah, likely. I mean, they still have California. A lot to assess, but probably will likely come out as the costliest.
But that's the reason why you've got those Santa Ana winds. It's a recipe for disaster, and it's all because of this low pressure system.
And an LA fire department captain said started from a small backyard fire.
That is awful. Yeah. Move from Fayetteville to Russellville, still depending on you guys for an accurate weather coverage. Will Russellville start out as rain? I do believe so, yes. Russellville, probably going to get around between, I think, 4 to 6 inches, maybe more.
But it'll start off maybe as like
a little
really
rain
cold rain,
yeah,
mixed with some sleet, and then eventually transition into snow.
And then it'll go. And Vance, what's going on, my man? The ground is shaking a lot. There was an earthquake over the weekend out west. So where was that earthquake? I'm trying to remember. It was a 7.1. Oh, Nepal.
Yeah,
it was Nepal. Yeah, yeah. What if the low tracks a couple hundred miles farther north than expected? Well, then we get heavier snow. So that's the point. Could it be more like the 2012 snow when they said it was going to be 5 inches, but we got more like 2 feet? So that was, Joey, that was 2011. The 2011, I remember February 9th. I know I was one of the ones that I said we would get 3 to 6 inches. 5 inches is in that range, and it was a 2-foot snowstorm. This is not going to be like that because, number one, that was a very cold snow, so it was extremely a high ratio. You had 25, almost 30 to 1. Yeah, it was crazy. Whoa. It was snowing at like 14 degrees. The air was extremely cold. But that snow at the same time, while it was 2 feet deep, it was extremely light because it was light, fluffy snow. Terrible for snowmaking. Yeah, for snowballs, snowmaking. Woo Pig Suey on to basketball season, on to baseball season. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Brandon, we know about this, and that's the coworker right here, Josh Rugger, ready to run 2 miles in the snow. I don't think 7 inches in Fayetteville. That's going to be a stretch. Well, guys, we're almost coming out to our newscast. Yeah, I can believe that, Heidi. It was pretty crazy. So here's what we're going to do. The newest data is coming in for the GFS for the European. Well, European will take a while to come out. But, yeah, 2012, I do remember that one. That was a storm too. But the 2011 was the 2-foot snowstorm. So we'll see. The roads are going to be an issue Thursday night into Friday morning. There's no doubt about that. Friday night, they're going to be better. So I don't think it'll be enough. We'll see what happens. But hey, I got to run. Peyton and I, we've got more work to do. I've got the 9 o'clock news on Fox, and then I'll tell you what, we'll be back on at 10 o'clock. But it is going to be a shorter Facebook Live.
Yeah, I got to get to bed. I have a long day tomorrow.
Yeah, we all do for
Yeah.
sure.
Come on back. Come on around, Josh.
All right. Later,
This is a live
guys.
stream.
We'll see you. Bye. Thanks for watching. And we'll be back after 10 for a brief update telling you the
safe.
latest.